Hi everyone, good evening. Thank you for joining in. Today I know it's a Monday night on a weekday. Hi Ketan, how are you? Long time. And I know it's 8 o'clock and that's not generally when we do our sessions, but we just thought of doing this sort of an impromptu session. Our speaker today is Varalika Mishra. She is a mental health advocate. She is a journalist and educator. She's also a poet and she does a lot of very creative things. She's a dancer. She's got the soul of a dancer. Thanks, Ketan. Ketan, you should just, sometimes talk to me normally also, not always on my lives. So she's gonna come today, Varalika, and she's gonna be a part of this session. She's coming from her Instagram handle called Your Story is Important. And basically, it means that, every story is important, and that's, sort of the philosophy behind the session and also behind the form. So let's see what she has to say today, and I hope you all enjoy this session. The topic for today's discussion is mental health in the legal profession, and especially with women advocates. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, loving the red hair.
Thank you. I love your scarf. You look so pretty.
Thank you. Okay, I'm getting a lot of compliments. I will wear this more often now.
Yes, I was reading the comments.
Okay, so Varadika, before we start today's session, I want you to tell everyone why did you start this initiative called Your Story is Important, and what drove you towards mental health?
That's a very interesting question to start the discussion with. So I'll have to say that I am not a professional expert. I'm not a psychologist or a therapist. But yes, I'm a mental health advocate, or if you want to call me an activist. And I started this initiative last year during the same time in December. And it's been 1 year now. So I'm really glad that, we've
Congrats.
completed 1 year. Thank you. Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, audible and visible.
Okay, great. So, the reason why I started this initiative was because I myself went through something very intense, and I felt that there needs to be a platform where, you know, people can just express themselves. Like, it's not necessary that, I mean, I do understand the importance, of a mental health expert, say a psychologist, but I also feel that at times you just need a listener. you know we often want to speak, we always want to speak our heart out. We rarely want to listen to somebody. So I feel the art of listening is very important. So when I was going through my issues, I didn't find anybody who was there for me as a listener. I mean, of course there were a lot of people. I'm blessed with wonderful friends, but I think at times you need a listener. So I felt that, if nobody was there for me as a listener, I will be that listener for that one person, who wants to just speak their heart out. So the whole idea behind your story is important was to basically tell everybody that everybody's story is important, and one should never compare. For example, we often hear people saying that तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम कुछ नहीं है, उसका देखो वो कितना सफर कर रहे हैं, just move on, be strong. But I think that is not right. I think everybody's trauma is valid, no matter how big or small it is, because we all have our own journey. So I think one should never compare your pain. So if
Yes,
I am going through something, so are you. I
yes,
cannot compare my pain with your pain. Your
yes,
trauma is valid and so is mine. So
definitely.
that way, your story is important and so is mine. So this was the whole idea where on my page, I basically conduct dialogues and conversations with people who have been through mental health problems, and also people who support towards this cause. So I've had talks, with regard to body shaming, and, black is beautiful, and depression, and then what else, like you name the topic and we've spoken about that, like
I know.
acid attack survivors. And yeah.
sessions, and I really liked a lot of them. Like they were, they were very important sessions. And according to me, of course, there is a very important need to focus on mental health and to make it less of a taboo. And the only way to
Yes,
do talk about it, right? And for people who are watching this, you're many of you are law students and you're going to, grow up to be lawyers. So when you have clients, apart from giving them, the legal strategies, you might have to counsel them. As a lawyer,
yes, definitely. Yeah.
so that for I think lawyers, it's very important to understand these things because when we deal with it in a real sense of the term, there is a lot of mental health that is knowledge that is required.
Yes.
Okay, okay, thank you for telling me that. And now we can, I think, go on to the topic of today's discussion.
Yes. So, what is the topic?
The topic is mental health and the legal fraternity with a special reference to women lawyers, which is what we were talking about the other day also.
Yes, yes. And I feel it's time that, we talk about mental health of lawyers because I truly feel that, we don't give a lot of importance to lawyers these days. Because, I think the work timings are so erratic. I feel like, you're just supposed to work no matter where you are, even if it's 3 at the night. I mean, I have a friend and I was speaking to her last night. And
Yeah.
I was like, listen, I need to talk to you about something. She's like, listen, I'm on a call. And it was 12 o'clock. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay. I was like, okay, fine. I'll get back to you in a while. I think it was 1 o'clock and she was still on the call. And I was like, what is this?
I was on a
Where
call
are the.
yesterday in the night.
Yeah, so I don't understand the work ethics. I think the mental health is so important in this world, not just in India, but I feel all across the world because, come on, let's just accept the fact that we are currently in a pandemic, you know. And even when the pandemic was not there, people were going through mental health issues. I mean, let me just tell you, I have to say this. According to American Psychiatric Association, in India, over 90 million people are going through mental health issues. Can you imagine? 90 million people, and they require active intervention. And the major cause of death is suicide. And we all are aware what recently happened in our own country. The death of
Yeah,
the late actor. Yes.
it was
So,
high.
and I think, yeah, and I think a lot of mockery was made out of his death, and I think it was so shameful. And I think we as a society are to be blamed because I think it's just on one particular day that we decide to talk about mental health, and it's called World Mental Health Day, and then the next day we're back to our normal behavior, bullying people, speaking to them rudely, putting them down. I mean, how are we behaving as human beings? Are we so mechanical in our work? you know
Yeah, yeah, true, true. Yes. So, so about, I think, so when it comes to the legal fraternity, you know that it is your brother is a lawyer, so you know that
yes,
it is large number of male, population as compared to female, right? And
yes, yes.
traditionally, so it was like,
And there is a lot of social exclusion. Why I wanted to focus on women. I mean, it's not like, okay, I'm a woman, so I want to talk about women only. It's nothing like that. I believe in equality, and for me, every gender matters. Be it a male, female, queer, trans, everybody matters to me, and everybody's story is important. But why I wanted to talk about women was particularly because we've seen the kind of representation which is there, and I think you can highlight the way the current situation is like. I mean, in terms of lawyers or probably judges also. I mean, why don't you tell everyone like what is the situation like?
the legal fraternity, of course, I think traditionally it was more of a male dominated profession, but so were all other professions. I think
Yeah.
traditionally everything was male dominated. So, you have
Hmm.
to how far we've come from there and to today. So when it comes to my generation, like my age group, I see a lot of women lawyers and I see a
Yeah.
lot of presence, be it in high court, be it in district courts, of women lawyers. And they're all young women lawyers like our age. So that
Yes.
I feel very reassured. But of course, I mean that does not just wash away the years and years of
Yes.
the unequal representation.
Yes.
Not for any
Yes.
reason, but I think there was a lot of stigma, like there is stigma for mental health. There was a lot of
Yes.
stigma in the legal field. Like people
Yes.
used to, like और कुछ नहीं बनना तो lawyer बन जाओ, or then there were those phases when people used to say, "अच्छा लड़की lawyer है तो उसकी शादी नहीं हो पाएगी." You know,
हाँ,
like
because she's too ambitious and she's so educated. Like, I don't think you should be a lawyer because then you won't be able to find a match for yourself.
so. I think therefore there was a lot of societal pressure on
Yes.
the development of the legal fraternity. Like
Hmm.
there was one phase where people would think all the rejects would become lawyers. Then there was another phase where people would say women should not become lawyers, otherwise they won't get
And
married.
also, I have to say, divorce lawyers. I mean, there was this whole notion that, because this woman is not able to find a match for herself, इसको divorce lawyer बनना है या family lawyer बनना है.
People talk
Just
like
to vent out her frustration. I mean, can you imagine the psyche of people?
exactly, and it's heavily flawed. And I always say this. I always say that we have good laws in India, but just having good laws does not. It's only half the work done. Rest of the work has to be done by the society. That's implement
Yes,
laws or choosing to follow them or not follow them. That
yes,
choice among the masses. That choice is not with the constitution or with the executive or with the judiciary or with the legislature. That choice is
yeah,
with so they can make the laws for you. You want the laws,
yeah,
but in order to
hmm,
follow them, in order to truly, follow the principles of equality, of to practice a sort of lifestyle which is not gender biased, you have to
yes,
really change yourself as a person at a mass level, which of course is
hmm,
not an easy job and may not happen
yeah,
for us. But the point
hmm.
is that there is some change, and I see
There
it.
is a change. We will not deny that there isn't any change. There is a lot of progress, but we need to do more.
Yeah, definitely. You need to do more. There is way more that needs to be done. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, uh, people come up to me and say that, okay, so, if because you're a girl, no offense, we don't want to be like, stereotype people, but because you're a girl, you won't get success for like 15 years, whereas a guy who's your
Hmm.
get the same amount of success in 10 years. So, you hear people say those things,
Hmm.
and truth of the matter is none of them know what they're talking about, and neither do we,
True.
and nobody knows
And
what, and nobody knows
and
when but the
there
fact
is there's a reason from where they're coming from also. It's because of their upbringing and the kind of people they're hanging out with.
yeah, yeah, so like yeah, even today if you're roaming around with someone and you're just having coffee and talking about your work, people will just like start talking and gossiping, of course that
Yeah, that just because a male and a female are sitting and having coffee, and if they're work colleagues, अच्छा, चलो, something's happening between them.
that is very common, but I think that happens in every profession. I think it happens
Yeah,
there. It's just
yeah,
people.
everywhere. It's not just restricted to law, but everywhere. I have to say that.
Yeah.
So,
But
coming to the law aspect, I want you to tell everybody what is the law, with regard to mental health. I mean, I know there was something which happened in 2014, and then something happened in 2017, and then eventually it was passed in 2018. But still, there is so much of discrepancy in the mental health law. And also, I remember when we were having a conversation on my page, on dogs and their impact on mental health, you did mention about the insurance part as well, like
yeah,
how mental health is not covered in the insurance aspect. So why
yeah.
don't you tell us about that?
So in India, we have recently discovered that recently, in the sense that this particular issue has recently been raised in front of the courts and the Supreme Court, that mental health is not included in your health insurance. So when
Yeah.
you're health insurance your whole life, and you're saving up for the rainy day when you know that you might need it because you'll have to pay a lot of
Hmm.
hospital. In so you should pray that whenever you need your health insurance, you should have a physical injury which is tangible and is visible,
But
because
tell me one thing, if somebody has physical illness, you go to a doctor, right? If you have a physical injury like pair toot gaya, or probably you're having headache, yeah, you have a heart problem, you go to a doctor. What is the problem if I'm having mental illness? What is the
so
whole dramatics behind it and the taboo attached to it?
because even for mental health, see, sometimes you'll go to a psychologist, right? But if you have a serious mental health issue, you will go to a psychiatrist, and a
Yeah,
psychiatrist doctor, and psychiatrist will
yeah.
prescribe medication to you, and
Medication, yes.
so technically, you are being treated in a hospital, and it is a so the Supreme Court has issued notice in this matter, and they're going to hear it now, and it's going to
Like
be
recently this year?
Uh, yeah. Recently, this year, it's been a couple of months of this year also. Now this year's ending, but yeah, it has
Yeah, unfortunately, this year is ending.
2020.
We didn't even realize how did this year end. I mean, I think it was just March, and then now it's December.
Yeah, like I don't even remember how I got from March to December. I just don't.
I think I used to dress up like this while I used to go for my office work, and now I'm just sitting at home. And now I remember there was a time when I just stopped dressing up because I just thought that it's useless, you know. But then I think for a change, I got so sick of wearing my clothes that I had to be like this now.
Yes, exactly. And I want to thank all of you who are here and sending waves and lots of love to everyone who is here on a
Yes.
Monday. Us.
Yeah.
We're very
Thank you
thankful.
so much for joining in. Yeah, we are very grateful. I think gratitude is very important to have, you know, in life, I feel.
Yes, yes.
So coming back to the topic, I want to first of all tell everybody that what is mental illness. You know, we need to understand what is mental illness. So according to American Psychiatric Association, mental illness is a health condition, and I have to repeat this: it's a health condition. Okay, it's a health condition, and there is a change in emotional, emotional behavior, mood, distress, and a lot of factors are responsible for it, you know, be it society, work environment. And if we talk about the law of fraternity, I mean, you are very much aware how much of stress is there, and you know, you're supposed to be strong. So my team member on Your Story is Important, she's a lawyer, and at her workplace she had immense mental health torture. I mean, her senior actually, you know, used to throw files on her face, and you know, he used to be like, just work. And she actually admitted in front of him that I am not feeling good, and he just said that you're a lawyer, you know, you have to work today no matter what, I don't care. So I feel, what kind of a person, you know, have we become as a society that we can't, empathize with somebody who is going through an emotional trauma? I mean, even if that person is a lawyer, so what? Why you have to act so strong? What is
No,
this whole thing about? Be strong. You're a lawyer. What is this about?
yeah, so I'll tell you what it is. You know, even when I joined, even now, I get very, so this is one of the things that happens with me, and it happens with a lot of my friends also, that I get very emotional with the
Yeah,
case, right? You do get emotional with
I
some
will
cases.
talk about the emotional aspect also. Yes.
Yeah. You know, my seniors, so this is where, you know, you need to go and talk to your seniors, because they will
Hmm.
tell seniors in the legal fraternity are very welcoming. Okay, they're very sweet. You just have to go up to them and tell them what you're struggling with, and they will tell you how to get through it. So, as a
Hmm.
young new professional, be it in law, be it in medicine, right? Even if you're a doctor, you're going to see a lot of death, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
To affect you
If
in the
you're a journalist, say if I'm a
or
journalist, I'm
yeah,
going to read about rape cases, I'm going to read about crimes and the different kinds of crimes that happen in our country, you know, where a woman is probably thrashing a man, or a man is murdering his own wife. I mean, you can't even imagine the kind of cases, you know, we have to work over. So I truly understand, you know, what you're talking about right now. But let's
over.
leave everything. Yeah, please say, sorry to intervene.
No, over a point of time, you just, like, this is what I'm told, and I feel it myself as well, that over a point of time you just start seeing it as, you know, work, because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, is your work. You see, you are a professional, and this is, it's the job, right? So there are, of course, again, stigmas in society. People will go and be like, oh, lawyers to aisi karte hain, waisi karte hain, you know. But at the end of the day, if you commit a crime, who is going to defend you in court? Who is going to save you from going to jail? It is going to be a lawyer. So
तुम प्रोटेस्ट करो, जाके प्रोटेस्ट करो, तुमको वो पुलिस ले जाएगा, तुम किसके पास जाओगे?
exactly. So basically, lawyers get a lot of how do I say it, scum from the society.
Yeah.
All the
Yes,
scum
I've seen. Yeah,
you
and I
have.
think there was a time last year when I think lawyers were thrashed because
Yeah.
of something.
Yeah, I mean, those incidents keep happening, but also you're dealing with a lot of people committing a lot of wrongs, right? Or
Yes.
allegedly.
So your life is at stake, you know, your life is at stake in a
Yes.
way. And
So
also your family's life also. It's interconnected.
yeah, in some cases, yes, that has
It
happened.
is, yes. Yeah, because I am aware about few cases and they were scary.
Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, what causes stress to a lawyer and in the legal profession is the fact that you're dealing with so much unhappiness, because there's so much fighting among people that you're dealing
Yeah.
with.
There's so
Is
much of
that
competition.
there's competition, so you have to sort of early on in your life, and you have to maintain it. You have to make a certain pattern by which you can disassociate yourself with all of
Hmm.
this, and
Yeah.
make sure that your mental health does not suffer. So whereas you do over duty and you are an officer of the court and you have to defend your client, right? That is your duty. You have to do it. But you also have a duty to yourself to make sure that when you come back home after a long day in the court, you do
Hmm.
whatever you make sure that your mental health does not suffer.
Yeah.
You understand? Because the nature of the profession can be such that over a period of time, daily, if you're seeing all of this, then it can affect you.
Definitely. So I have to say, while I was working with the Hindu as a sub editor, I had a night shift job, and it was in 2017. And my mental health got severely impacted because for me, something called rape became very normal. I became immune to it. So when after a couple of days, after a couple of months, whenever I used to read any rape case, it was something very normal for me. It didn't impact me. And it was then when I felt that, okay, there's something wrong. This is not a normal behavior. And I felt that, it's time that, I reflect upon my own emotions, and no matter where I am and what institution this is, and what is the rank of this company, and people die to work here, but I'm sorry, for me my mental health is the topmost priority, and I don't give a damn which organization it is. And I'm very grateful to that organization because they actually understood my mental state at that particular time. And I remember my resident editor was so kind, and he actually asked me, to take a break. He said, let me change your profile. Should I just change your timings? Because I was in a night shift job. But he was very kind and very supportive, and he understood, okay, that this girl is actually going through something. Because I saw that whoever was working in that organization at that particular time, and especially in my team, everybody was mostly old and they were experienced. So I started developing this inferiority complex that, okay, this is my first job, and I am this young girl who's what, 25, 24, and she doesn't know anything. She's got this job, and they were short staffed, and I just felt that, okay, there's so much of pressure. Even if there wasn't any pressure, I felt so. I didn't have that kind of a support system in that organization where I could go to somebody and say that, I'm not feeling good, please help me. Which is why in every session of mine, I emphasize on the fact that we need to have mental health dialogues in schools, colleges, and workplaces. And
Yeah.
if I have to talk about the law fraternity, let me tell you, in India, the mental health of lawyers, I mean, we don't really have any mainstream discussion, okay? While, whereas in the American Bar Association, on its website, they have actually dedicated a page focusing on mental health of lawyers, and they actually offer lawyer assistance programs. Can you imagine?
No, I think we
And
need
what are
I think we need it very badly. I think we need counseling for lawyers, and we need workshops for lawyers. We need on mental health, like you said. We need on sexual harassment. We need on,
yes,
a couple of other things, because I think that, like, we have companies, right? Each company has to have its own set of sessions on these things. So that's the legal fraternity should have it too. I agree with you.
yeah.
I
And
would
I
love,
think the whole notion, that you
maybe
have to be productive all the time. Why do you have to be productive 24/7?
yeah.
Why? Why is this pressure, like the social media? I feel this whole Instagram and Facebook, where
No,
people have showing themselves to be working hard. Like, I mean, I respect whoever is working hard, it's their personal choice, but I feel because of that, there are some people, there is a part of a community who is kind of feeling pressurized that they are not able to work that much.
definitely. And see, in a court setting, it doesn't matter what your age is, right? Everyone is appearing in front of the court. So
Yeah. So why don't you share your experience, when it was your first time to, go in front of a judge and
so on your point, so when young lawyers see older lawyers, and they're working through courts and they're doing everything so flawlessly, you're right, that can add undue pressure to the young
yeah,
lawyers, that, oh my God, we don't know anything. But what they don't realize is they have not spent 20 years and they, once they spend 20 years, everything will be easy for them too. So
Hmm.
understand what you say, that you look at other people and you feel like, oh
Yeah.
my, 24 hours a
What am
day.
I doing?
Yes,
Yeah.
there is a lot of that going around. There is a lot of competition. There's a lot of unhealthy competition.
So, what?
Yeah.
How can we change that? We need to understand how can we change that. So, for example, at my workplace, at my current workplace, I remember there was an intern who joined. I think it was in December, same time last year, and I saw how awkward he was feeling, because everybody was working, nobody felt the need to welcome him or probably just say hi. And I
Yeah.
knew how he was feeling, and I just got up and I went to him and I just said, "Hi, how are
Yeah.
you? And I know this is your first day, and let me know if you require any help." I mean, why can't we as human beings take that kind of initiative? Come on, everybody is busy, I understand, but इतना busy नहीं कि 2 सेकंड तुम निकाल नहीं सकते हो किसी को
I
comfortable feel कराने के लिए.
I agree. You're absolutely right. You need to go out of your way to make this. Like they say, a team or a captain is only as
Yeah,
good as the smallest serving officer or the
yeah.
lowest officer, right? So,
Hmm.
so your low, like your intern is your newest member, is the youngest member.
Hmm.
So your team is only as good as that intern is. You have
Yeah.
to that. You have to see it like, it doesn't matter what everyone is doing. If there's any group of people or even an individual who's feeling very, targeted, bullied in your office, made to do things they don't like, then obviously it's that's why they say, litigation also, a lot of people get frustrated with it and then they leave
Yeah.
litigation to join
Hmm.
office. So yeah, there is a lot of that going around, and then also they feel that they've spent so many years and nothing has happened. So there is a lot of patience also that is required,
And
and
also the fact that everybody has to keep studying throughout their life.
yeah, but that is any lawyer in any field in any place. So that will
Hmm.
be life no matter what you do. But yeah,
Hmm.
in terms of in terms of, I think, security of income, of a
Hmm.
better future, those are
Hmm.
things, you have better opportunities if you move to a steady job rather than
Hmm.
just running around courts morning till night and having a 24-hour job.
Hmm. So why don't you share your experience? The first time when you had to speak in front of a judge, how did you feel? What were your emotions like? If you can share
I
it.
loved it. You see, I too loved it, and I love it, to be very honest. But yeah, of course, it was, again, I was completely, my first time when I argued, I was completely unprepared. And
Hmm.
I had no idea that I'm going to argue because I had a senior, and the senior was supposed to argue, right? And
Hmm.
although I knew the file and I knew the matter, so it was not
Hmm.
like I'm saying, but I wasn't prepared to argue, and I was really young. Like I just joined the legal fraternity, and my senior was like, he spoke to the judge and he said that, Your Lordship, I have to leave. I have an urgent, and he had a flight to catch, right? And the matter
Hmm.
was over. So he said, I'm leaving my junior over here. She will handle it. And if with your permission, can I go? So the judge was like, Yeah, you go. She'll handle it. And
Hmm.
our client is a senior citizen who's about 70 years old. Opposite party is also two senior citizens who are about like 70, and
Hmm.
I'm young 23, 24-year-old kid, okay, who's barely out of law school. And I am just standing there and I'm like, oh my god, now what do I do? Like,
Hmm.
like, what do?
Hmm.
And they're so senior to me, and my first thought was, if I have to instruct them, how do I
Hmm.
instruct? There's like
Hmm.
this gap, right? It's a
Yeah,
huge.
the whole age gap. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
listen, just do or die. You just do this, okay? Just you have to. So I shut my brain and I just started arguing, and we managed to reach a consensus on that day, and we got an order. Thus, that very day, I was in Kothal.
Wow.
I collected that order, and I felt very happy. And I'm still in touch with the gentleman who was our client, and he still wishes me, and I still wish him on Diwali and on really nice.
That's nice. That's lovely to hear.
Yes, yes. So that was my first experience. Unexpected completely.
Hmm. So, coming back to the topic of how women lawyers have their role in this particular fraternity. So, have you ever come across any particular experience of any of your friends, who's experienced any sort of a bias in this
Oh,
particular field?
all the time. See, you have to understand, it's just the society. It's not just at work, it's everywhere. So bias is there all the time. There was this one time I had to ask for a Passover in a matter. Okay, it's just a Passover, right? I'm not arguing, I'm not doing anything. And by mistake, I asked for a Passover in a matter which was just before ours.
Hmm.
My mistake, right? I misheard what the instructions that I was given, and instead of like item 49, I asked for a Passover in item 48, right? So
Hmm.
the guy who was supposed to argue, he's like, "Who are you for?" So then I said, my client's name and my party's name, and he's like, "That's the next matter." I was like, "I'm sorry, I apologize." Okay, so obviously the judge was like, "It's okay," but the lawyer, this particular lawyer, and he's quite senior, and he looks at me and he's like, "What is this way of behaving? I didn't push you because you're a woman." And
What?
I was like, and this is in court, right? So I was like,
Hmm.
I didn't say anything. Obviously, he's much senior to me, right? But I
But
was,
that doesn't give him the right to
but
say something like this.
yeah. So luckily, one of my friends was there, and he just took me out of court, and then we went to the canteen, and he got me coffee, and he's like, "Listen, relax,
Shant ho
calm
jao.
down, like chill." And
Yeah.
furious that day, and I just
But you didn't feel the need to confront him at that particular moment?
Yeah, honestly, I was so there was just so much happening in court that time that that moment just passed. And when you're in court, you have to adhere to the rules and the way the traditions of the court. So you can't really go off like a loose cannon. There is a way of behaving. So I didn't want
Yeah,
to,
but
but
I
just
feel there's always a way to communicate your thoughts. There's always a way to communicate.
go back to him and talk to him later on, but then I cooled down, and then there were other things that happened, and then I just forgot about it. So anyway, but yeah, there have been incidents like that, and they have happened with my friends as well, and they happen quite often. So
Hmm.
that, yeah, we have a
So,
long to go.
yeah, with regard to that, I want to focus on the emotional quotient. Hmm. So usually, I think, like you said, this whole the whole dialogue that took place between you and that senior lawyer. I have to say this. I think everywhere, I think in every profession, people usually feel that if it's a woman, she is very emotional, and I think इसको थोड़ा heavy काम नहीं देना चाहिए because maybe she might just break down, or maybe if she hasn't even broken down like that, or if she hasn't had that emotional turmoil, maybe sometime in future she can have that. So I will just give an example. So I actually had some sort of emotional breakdown at my workplace, and luckily, fortunately, my senior was very kind, and he was a male, and my mentor was very kind enough to allowed me to be emotional at that particular time. He said, in fact, I was feeling embarrassed because I think this thing has been engraved in us that you can't express yourself, and I think if you express yourself, you'll be considered to be somebody who's weak, which is very evident. I think everywhere you don't see anybody saying that today I'm feeling so bad. I've never seen anybody posting something like that. It's always about happy pictures and oh my god, आज मैं यहाँ गए वहाँ गया and मैंने आज ये किया वो किया. I mean, I've never seen anybody
Unless
saying
it,
that आज मैं इतना रोए.
but you know what? No, these days on social media, I see a lot of people cribbing all the time. I have a
Of course,
totally
cribbing is there, but I think being emotional is another aspect, I feel.
yeah, maybe, yes, of
Yeah.
course.
So what I personally feel is that I think if you're at a workplace and if you show your weak side, that I'm not feeling good today, and then you just start venting out your emotions. And even if a woman is crying, luckily I was very grateful that I didn't experience something like that. But I have seen my friends experiencing something like that. That if they have a breakdown, they will be labeled as a weak person. And also, if you're a woman, तब तो भाई ये तो obvious है. The typical stereotypical notion कि अगर लड़की है तो रोएगी, if a man is crying तो उसको बोलेंगे stop behaving like a girl, you know
Yeah.
this is something very common we've seen. And what is the deal if a man is crying or if anybody is crying? I think when you're born, the first thing that you do is cry. That's a
Yes,
sign of being alive, for
yes,
God's sake.
definitely.
How can you term somebody to be weak? So I think in this whole professional fraternity, and especially in law, I feel that because my team member also experienced that, and I know how she felt and how she dealt with it, and she had to quit her work because of that. And I think it really impacts you. You know, if your senior is not able to accept your emotions, and or probably is not able to understand that, okay, this person is not feeling good today, let me just give that person a day off.
Yeah, I
कोई
think
म-
I think the thing is, yeah, you're right. There are going to be people who are not going to understand what you're going through, who are going to just do what they want to do. I think then the best thing to do is to look for a senior who's caring, who will
but
understand that.
what if you're working under somebody and आपका कोई team member नहीं है, it's just you and that person?
You have to leave. You have to find someone
That's
else.
what
And,
that's what she had to do. She had to quit, but I feel bad for her.
yeah, that should not be an option for her. There should be some rules. There should be some guidelines. There should be some.
Yeah,
I agree,
and
but
she could not express herself because, like you said, that person was a senior. So the whole seniority thing comes in, like, ये मुझे क्या पता कहीं फिर नौकरी नहीं दे, like, कहीं recommend ना करे.
yeah,
All of that happens.
there is that, but for me, it was just that I was inside the courtroom, right? So inside the courtroom, you have to follow court etiquette. You cannot just go off like a loose cannon. Once you're outside, of course, you can have. And I am, you know me, I'm a person who doesn't like to like confront and have fights. You know that. You know how
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I'm someone who just
I'll just start fighting. I am that one person, like, you tell me what is it, like, why?
yeah. So for me
So
also,
I
it's
think, of course, it's a personal choice. I completely understand that, but I feel if something is wrong, you're supposed to speak.
no, of course, I definitely agree with that. You have to tell the person that this is what
Yeah.
you've done. And I did have a conversation to that effect later on. But in
Hmm.
that, had I done
Of
something,
course, at times, yeah, I do understand about the timing that at times, you need to see, like, what is the situation like.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So that's one of the crossroads which I feel is it shouldn't really be a crossroad for us. Like
Yeah.
we said that you have to change your senior. You can't actually do anything about your senior. That should not
Hmm.
really the kind of situation we're in. It should be that
Yeah.
shouldn't be that we have to change because something didn't suit us, and we were
Hmm.
forced. I don't think
Yeah.
that's a good way to, yeah. So yes, that's what I'm saying. There's a long way to go about things, and there is a need for sensitization across, hierarchies.
Yes.
Like
So coming about, talking about status, like how, we feel afraid to confront our seniors, or if not even use the term confront, but probably just express ourselves. I think there's a lot of fear. And I think, even at workplaces, if there's a person who's serving a tea, normal, I mean, general colleagues also, I don't see the kind of respect that, a person should give them. I feel that just because this person is serving a tea, or probably, he or she is just cleaning the floor, you think that that person doesn't deserve the respect just because you're wearing a coat and तुम chair पे बैठे हो, तुमको सलाम करेगा, but तुम उसको good morning नहीं बोलोगे. I think very rarely I've seen anybody, addressing this particular aspect also in any profession, not just in law, but anywhere.
you've picked up such an important point because I go out of my way and I make sure that
Hmm.
I bid everyone a good morning, be it the doorman outside the building or
Yeah.
the
Or
staff.
even if they are giving you a tea, just say a thank you. क्या चला जाएगा तुम thank you बोलोगे तो?
I agree with you. This is something, and this is basic courtesy and manners that every.
Basic, basic courtesy. You want to go out and have dinners and hang out with your friends, and you're chilling and everything. That's very nice. You say thank you to your friends. Thanks for coming. But you can't say a thank you to a person who's serving you tea and water.
Yes, yes, I agree. Yeah. Also, but there is one thing that I wanted to, which I've seen this year, which I wanted to talk about is uh, e-courts. So everything's
Hmm.
gone online, na? So there's video conferencing and everything, and the amount it has benefited women is not even
Yeah.
now. They can just
Yeah.
the household, do their matters, do their work, take care of their kids, take care
But
of their.
it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a very tedious task.
But online courts are helping women
Of
advance.
course, it is helping. It is helping, but the work, I mean, we have to accept that if there are some men in the house, they are not ready to share the workload.
I don't know. I mean, it depends. It depends on
No,
house.
of course, it depends. It depends from house to house, but I'm talking about majority. I'm talking about majority. I'm talking about statistics. There are good men also. There are people who want to share and help. I'm not denying that aspect, and I'm very glad that there are such people who exist. But let's just talk, in terms of reality, what is happening. We don't see the workload which is being shared. Only the woman is asked to cook food. Why? I am working, so are you. I also need a break. So
But
we
you're
need to.
that's in a household where both men and women are working.
So I'm talking about those households only where both men and women are working. And just because you're a man and you are doing your work, you are like मुझे कॉफी दे दो, वो कर दो, and हाँ मैं खाना भी बना रही हूँ, अपना कोर्ट का केस भी देख रही हूँ. I'm just giving an example. I am not married. I'm just giving a hypothetical
I
example.
doubt lawyers have those issues. I seriously doubt it because a lawyer knows what it takes to have a successful marriage. They will not do those things.
No, I'm not talking just about the law profession. I am not just talking about the law profession, but in general, I'm talking that how mental health is such an important aspect of your life that, this is also something because we're in a pandemic currently and because everything is, happening through the digital medium, we need to cater to every aspect of our life.
So domestic violence have risen, yeah, to
Yes,
such
yes, yes.
and it's just gone out of the window.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah,
Yes, the number of suicide cases have increased. The number of domestic violence cases have increased.
yeah.
Every day we read news where people are just dying.
I know, and I think a lot of people are also now going to go through depression because of
Yes, of
being
course.
out, and yeah, that is definitely something. See, that's why I love your initiative, and I feel that everyone should do their bit to talk about mental health because now
Yeah,
more than ever it is so important. It is important in every household now because of the
and I'm
pandemic.
so thankful to you that you invited me over here to talk about this because I feel you don't need to have a certificate to talk about mental health issues. So I have to give this example. I was invited by my professor, who is currently a professor in Delhi University, and I was asked to give a talk on social exclusion and its impact on mental health. And there was a student, and she actually told me that what I personally feel, and she said, don't take it personally, but this is just my opinion. And she said that I feel, if there was a psychologist and if I think you were certified, I think it would have made a difference, in this talk. And I took it very sportingly. I was like, okay, fine. Of course, I am not a certified psychologist, but yes, I don't see anything wrong in advocating anything about mental health. I'm not prescribing medication to anybody. I
Yeah,
am just acting as a catalyst.
yeah,
Right. And I think anybody can do that, not just me, even you can do that.
I know,
So I
but
think,
I think I'm going to stick to law for now.
of course, to each their own, but yes,
I'm very interested in this entire mental health movement. And honestly, I follow like two, three handles on social media where there is talk of mental health, and I follow it
yeah,
because I feel it is important for everyone.
it is.
Like,
Everybody is going through something or the other. I mean, कब तक you'll put that mask कि ha 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 मैं कितना happy हूँ.
yeah, and it's important to be informed. It's important to talk
Yes,
about, to,
yes.
you know,
So I know I'm deviating from the topic, but in this whole Sushant Singh case, people were saying that this guy was always happy. उसके सारे happy pictures were displayed. How do you know I am smiling right now? Do you know what is happening to me inside?
yeah,
You
yeah,
are smiling right now. Can I say what you're going through?
yeah. True,
How can you judge somebody on the basis of their smile?
true.
You know, so I think it's very important that we become sensitive.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. And I think more and more people should understand about mental health and they should talk
Yeah.
about and it should be a very free flowing conversation. It should not be a taboo. It should not be something that people think that, oh, फिर से
हाँ हाँ move on, be strong. ऐसे कुछ नहीं होता है या and I also feel even in educated families, people still feel कि if you have a mental health issue, अरे ये तो पागल है ये.
yeah, probably,
And I
yes.
think even in our day-to-day language, so conveniently we use words like crazy, mad,
I,
pagal.
I am guilty of that. I
I
have,
have, I am also guilty of that, and I will not deny it. I will accept my mistake, but I will change myself. I'll
yeah,
become more conscious of myself, and I think there is no shame in that.
yes, true, very true.
I think we as a society need to unlearn so many things about ourselves, and I think we just need to put our ego on the table and just become more compassionate. कितना
Yeah.
लगेगा उसके लिए?
True. I think people like you and things like these and initiatives like these will help in starting a dialogue. Because what is
Yeah.
it is to start the dialogue. It doesn't matter what you talk about, but the fact that you start the dialogue, you give that space, you provide that positivity, you nurture it, you give it importance. That itself, I feel, will go a long way in helping on these issues.
Yes, and I also want to say one more thing, that you don't need to be a big shot person to start something like this, because let me tell you, I recently had a conversation with Miss Lalita Kumara Mangalam. She's a cancer survivor and she also worked with the National Commission of Women. And the first thing I told her that I am not that person, you know. So she knows me because I've worked in an organization where she was also a part of the work. So I told her, I am not that big star that, aapko vaisa milega, welcome and all. I'm an ordinary person. She's like, no, it's not about that. It's all about the cause, right?
Exactly.
So ऐसा आपको सोचना नहीं that you need to be a Shahrukh Khan or probably a Priyanka Chopra, to start a movement. You can be Janvi Sharma and you can be Varalika Mishra and talk about mental health.
Yes, you can be anyone and talk about mental health. You just have to be willing.
Yeah. Yes,
I
it's the inner calling, it's the passion that you want, And it's not like because I'm a mental health advocate, I don't go through mental health issues. I also go through, and I think it's very normal. Just like any physical illness, this is my mental illness, and there's no shame in accepting that.
Yes, true. Very true. Okay, on that note, Viralika, I think we're going to run out of time now, but
Yes.
thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for talking about these issues. And I know these are important issues, and this is just like not even like scratching the surface of what actually is mental health and the talks about mental health. And it's just a dialogue that has to, keep continuing and keep
Yes,
growing.
yes,
And
yes.
and
Thank you so much for inviting me.
no, of course. And thank you for this initiative and for doing this for every one of us. And sort of reaching out to us, connecting us, starting the dialogue. I think it's a brilliant way to deal with important issues, especially in lockdown because it impacts
Yeah,
every.
yes.
Thank
And
you.
also, I think towards the end, I'll say that your story is important.
Yes, your story is important. Everyone's story is important.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And thank
Bye.
everyone who's joined in.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you for being so patient and for listening to us. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys also, become more sensitive and compassionate.
Yes, and if you all have any questions, any doubts, you want to talk about something, you can just DM Varalika on your story is important, and she'll reply to you. In fact, you can start a dialogue on anything and everything.
Yeah. If anybody wants to share their struggle, please, you're welcome to come up for a conversation on my page. I
Yes, and
invite everyone.
she will talk you through, and she will, make sure it's a good discussion. Thank you,
Yes,
Dhana.
yes.
Thank you for tuning in. Okay, bye. See you.
Bye.